Hey everyone, welcome back to FlixNet. If you're a tennis fan, you know there's one name that's been absolutely dominating the ATP Tour lately, Jannik Sinner. The Italian sensation, the world number one, the Grand Slam champion, and the guy who's got the tennis world buzzing. But today we're not just talking about his killer backhand or his epic matches. We're diving deep into how Jannik Sinner's life has completely transformed since he became a global superstar. From his humble beginnings in a small mountain town to driving Ferraris and rubbing shoulders with luxury brands, this is the story of a kid who stayed grounded while reaching the top. So, grab a snack, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. To understand just how far Jannik Sinner has come, we've got to start at the beginning. Picture this, a tiny town called San Candido, or Innichen, nestled in the snowy Dolomites of South Tyrol, Italy. It's a place where the air is crisp, the mountains are massive, and skiing is basically a way of life. That's where Jannik was born on August 16, 2001, to parents Johann, also called Hans-Peter, and Sieglinde Sinner, who worked hard at a local ski lodge, Johann as a chef and Sieglinde as a waitress. They weren't rich, they weren't famous, just a hard-working family in a tight-knit German-speaking community near the Austrian border. Now, here's the thing. Jannik wasn't born with a tennis racket in his hand. Nope. As a kid, he was a skiing prodigy. By age 8, he was winning national championships in giant slalom, tearing down slopes like he was born for it. He was also pretty darn good at soccer, playing competitively in his hometown of Sesto. Tennis? It was like his third favorite sport. But at 13, Jannik made a choice that would change his life forever. He said goodbye to skiing and soccer and went all in on tennis. And let me tell you, that was no small decision. Imagine leaving behind a sport you're already a champ at to chase a dream where you're basically starting from scratch. That takes guts. Jannik's parents were his biggest cheerleaders. They didn't have a ton of money, but they gave him something even more valuable: freedom. They let 14-year-old Jannik move away from home to train at a tennis academy in Bordighera on the Italian Riviera under the guidance of coach Riccardo Piatti. Can you imagine? A teenager leaving his family, his cozy mountain life, to chase a dream in a completely different world. That's the kind of sacrifice that shaped Jannik into the player he is today. His parents' work ethic rubbed off on him big time. He said in interviews that watching them work long hours at the ski lodge taught him the value of hard work and discipline, and that's a theme we'll see over and over in his story. Okay, fast forward a few years, Jannik's grinding on the pro circuit, and by 2019, he's starting to turn heads. At just 17, he wins the Next Generation ATP Finals and gets named ATP Newcomer of the Year. 2 years later, he's the first player born in the 2000s to crack the top 10. And then, boom, 2024 hits, and Jannik Sinner becomes a household name. He wins his first Grand Slam at the Australian Open, takes down Novak Djokovic in the semis, and then beats Daniil Medvedev in a 5-set thriller. That victory? It wasn't just a trophy, it was a statement. Jannik Sinner had arrived, and the tennis world was never going to be the same. That Australian Open win in January 2024 was a game-changer. Suddenly, Jannik wasn't just a rising star, he was a global icon. By June 2024, he's the world number one, the first Italian man ever to hit that ranking. He follows it up with another Grand Slam at the US Open, then defends his Australian Open title in 2025. And, get this, wins Wimbledon in 2025, becoming the first Italian to claim the singles title at SW19. 4 Grand Slams, 20 ATP titles, 2 Davis Cup crowns for Italy in 2023 and 2024, and a net worth estimated at around $14 to $25 million by 2025. That's not just success, that's a legacy in the making. But here's what we're really here to talk about. How does all this fame and success change a guy like Jannik Sinner? I mean, going from a small town where everyone knows your name to being mobbed by fans and signing deals with brands like Gucci, Rolex, and Ferrari? That's a wild leap. So let's break it down. His lifestyle, his mindset, his flashy new toys like that Ferrari, and how he stayed true to his roots despite it all. And don't worry, we'll get to that doping controversy too, because it's a big part of his story. Let's dive in. Let's start with where Jannik calls home now. Back in the day, he was living in Sesto, a sleepy village where the biggest excitement was probably a good ski day. Today, he's based in Monte Carlo, Monaco, one of the glitziest places on earth. Why Monaco? Well, it's a hot spot for athletes, great training facilities, nice weather, and yeah, those tax benefits don't hurt. Jannik's got a luxury apartment there, and let's just say it's a far cry from the ski lodge where his parents worked. But here's the kicker. Even with all this wealth, Jannik's not out here flaunting it like some celebs. He's still the guy who checks the price of pasta at a restaurant before ordering. True story. Jannik told Tennis Up to Date in 2024 that he's super careful with money. He said, "If the pasta with meat sauce costs more than the one with tomato sauce, I take the tomato sauce." That's not because he's cheap, it's because he respects money, a value he got from his parents. Even with a net worth of $14 million or more, this guy's not splashing cash on gold-plated rackets or private jets. Well, okay, maybe one exception, and we'll get to that Ferrari in a bit. Now, fame has definitely opened doors to a lifestyle most of us can only dream of. Jannik signed massive endorsement deals with brands like Nike, Head, Rolex, Alfa Romeo, and Gucci. In 2020, when he was just 18 and not even in the top 50, he became a global ambassador for Rolex. A year later, he's inking deals with Intesa Sanpaolo, an Italian bank. And by 2023, he's a Gucci poster boy, rocking their outfits at events and even carrying a Gucci Valigeria travel bag in a GQ sports video. These deals? They're not just pocket change. Estimates suggest he's pulling in $10 to $15 million a year from endorsements alone, on top of his tournament prize money, which is over $15 million and counting. Let's put this in perspective. Here's a quick breakdown of Jannik's financial glow-up. 2019, ATP newcomer, approximately $500,000 in prize money. 2021, top 10, approximately $2 million in prize money, plus first big endorsements. 2024, world number $1, $10 million plus in prize money, $10 to $15 million in endorsements. 2025, net worth estimated at $45 million. This guy's gone from scraping by on the Challenger Tour to being one of the highest paid athletes in tennis. But what's cool is how he handles it. He's not out here buying diamond-encrusted watches or throwing lavish parties. Instead, he's focused on his game, his family, and giving back. In 2025, he launched the Jannik Sinner Foundation to empower kids through education and sports. That's the kind of move that shows you fame hasn't changed his core. Okay, let's talk about the one big splurge we know Jannik's indulged in, his love for fast cars, especially Ferraris. Now, if you're Italian, Ferrari isn't just a car, it's a symbol of pride, passion, and heritage. And Jannik, he's living the Italian dream. In 2023, he got an exclusive invite to Ferrari's headquarters in Maranello, where he met CEO Benedetto Vigna and Scuderia Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur. He toured the factory, checked out the Classiche department, and, get this, took a Ferrari SF90 Spider Assetto Fiorano for a spin on the Autodromo di Modena circuit. That's a 500,000 plus supercar, folks. Can you imagine Jannik, this chill dude from the mountains, flooring it in a Ferrari with a pro test driver next to him? He also got behind the wheel of a Ferrari Puro Sangue, Ferrari's first ever SUV. Now, there's no confirmed report that Jannik owns these exact models, but Car Collectors Club reported in 2024 that he's rumored to have a Ferrari Puro Sangue and an SF90 Stradale in his collection. He definitely owns an Alfa Romeo Stelvio Q4 Veloce, an Audi RS6 ABT, and an Alpine. But the Ferrari rumors? They make sense. The guy's got a passion for engines, passed down from his dad and grandpa, who used to watch Formula One races with him as a kid. Jannik's visit to Ferrari wasn't just a cool day out, it was a sign of how his fame has connected him to Italy's biggest icons. In a 2023 Vogue interview, he talked about what draws him to Ferrari, their Italian heritage and relentless innovation. Sound familiar? That's basically Jannik's approach to tennis, proudly Italian, always pushing the limits. And let's be real, driving a Ferrari on a private track is the kind of perk you get when you're world number one. But here's what I love. Even with all this glitz, Jannik's still the guy who'd rather cook with his dad than party with celebs. So, has the Ferrari life changed him? Not really. He's said himself that he loves the sound of a Ferrari engine, but he's not out here building a garage full of supercars. His car collection is modest compared to some athletes, and he's more likely to be found training than cruising around Monaco showing off. That's what makes Jannik so relatable. He's got access to the high life, but he's not defined by it. Now, let's talk about how Jannik handles fame. Because, let's be honest, going from a small town to being mobbed by fans and followed by paparazzi, that's a lot. But Jannik's got this calm, grounded vibe that's won over fans worldwide. He's not big on social media. His Instagram is mostly sponsor posts and match highlights. He's super private about his personal life, which is rare for a 24-year-old superstar. For example, we know he dated Italian model Maria Braccini until 2024, then started seeing Russian tennis player Anna Kalinskaya, but that ended in early 2025. He doesn't spill tea about his relationships, and you won't catch him oversharing on X. This guy's got over 1 million followers on Instagram, but he's not out here posting selfies every day. Instead, he's focused on his craft. He's said in interviews that he uses Formula Medicine, an Italian mental training program developed for Formula One drivers, instead of a traditional mental coach. That's next-level dedication. And his family? They're still as rock. His dad, Johan, even cooks for his team at big tournaments. Imagine that, world number one, and your dad's still making you pasta courtside. Jannik's parents and his older adopted brother Mark keep him grounded. He's super close with them, even though they don't travel to every match. After his 2024 US Open win, he dedicated the victory to his sick aunt, showing how family comes first. And get this, after winning the 2025 Australian Open, he gave the trophy to his parents because he said he didn't have space in his Monaco apartment. Classic Jannik, always putting family over fame. What's amazing is how Jannik's humble roots shine through, even now. He grew up in a place where hard work was everything, and he carries that with him. He's not chasing clout or trying to be the next big celebrity. He's just trying to be the best tennis player he can be. And that's why fans love him. He's the guy who will sign autographs for hours, thank his team in every speech, and still blush when someone calls him a superstar. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing. In 2024, Jannik faced a major challenge that could have derailed his career: a doping controversy. In March, he tested positive twice for clostebol, a banned anabolic steroid. The tennis world was shocked. Jannik? Doping? It didn't add up. He explained that the substance came from a spray his physiotherapist used on a cut, which accidentally got into his system during a massage. The International Tennis Integrity Agency cleared him, saying he bore no fault or negligence, but the World Anti-Doping Agency appealed, pushing for a 1 to 2 year ban. This was a tough moment for Jannik. He's built his career on integrity, and suddenly, he's in headlines for all the wrong reasons. In February 2025, he reached a settlement with WADA, accepting a 3-month suspension from February to May. He came back strong at the Rome Masters, beating Mariano Navone in straight sets. But the whole ordeal was a reminder of how fame comes with pressure and scrutiny. Jannik handled it like a champ, though. He owned up to his team's mistake, accepted the consequences, and got right back to work. What's telling is how Jannik didn't let this define him. He parted ways with his fitness coach Umberto Ferrara and physiotherapist Giacomo Naldi in August 2024, then rehired Ferrara in July 2025 after rebuilding trust. He also brought on Novak Djokovic's former fitness trainer, Marco Panici, and physiotherapist Ulises Badio to strengthen his team. This shows his maturity. Fame hasn't made him arrogant, it's made him adaptable. On the court, Jannik's life has changed in another big way. He's now the guy to beat. His rivalries with Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic are the talk of tennis. He's faced Alcaraz 13 times since 2021, with Alcaraz leading 8-5, but Jannik got the upper hand at Wimbledon 2025, winning in 4 sets. Against Djokovic, he's 6-4, with huge wins at the 2024 Australian Open and 2024 Shanghai Masters. These matches aren't just games, they're defining the next era of tennis.